Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is April 2nd, and today I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about this week's chance, or where we could see severe weather this week, or actually next week, sorry. Next week it looks like we're going to see severe weather in maybe different spots than we saw it in the past couple of weeks. It looks like the plains are going to have a better chance of some severe weather, and maybe areas of the Midwest. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. So right now we do have this is first of all, this is the National Weather Service hazards map. We have freeze warnings going all the way down in southern Alabama, southern Georgia, and eastern North Carolina, going all the way up in Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. Now, this doesn't mean that these areas aren't going to see a freeze tonight. Pretty much what this means is that right now it's kind of later than the average last freeze for these areas. So, so for example, if it was January and there was a freeze in the south, in the southeast, 30 degrees or so, it wouldn't be a freeze warning because it's normal for that to happen that time of year. It's normal for this is not normal. We have temperatures much below average in the east and potential freezing temperatures, making it all the way down to areas of South Georgia, South Alabama, and South Mississippi, and a good majority of South Carolina. So that's pretty significant. But also in the plains, we have much above average warmth, and even in the west too, we have red flag warnings for much of areas, or for much of for much of central Kansas, even areas of eastern Kansas, up in the western Iowa, central and eastern Nebraska, and up in the majority of Minnesota. And then we have some more in areas of Nebraska, South Dakota, and North Dakota. So kind of an interesting pattern right now. But let's switch topics. So let's go on to severe weather now. So this is our analog. So look at this for the past several days, and we go to day 2. It's not gonna. We don't really have anything getting picked up for a while. And this is the 4th. This is Easter. It starts to pick up something kind of in this area now. We go to the 5th, and then we go to the 6th. So this is the 5th, kind of right around that same area. And the 6th is when it really starts to get going. The 6th is, I think, 6th is Tuesday or Wednesday. And the 6th is Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday looks like the day it's gonna really start to get active. And we go back to analog, so we can see picking up a 45% right there. That's pretty significant. Day 6, which is Wednesday, it even looks more interesting for much of the Central Plains, the Midwest, and maybe even areas of the South, the Deep South, and then that kind of shifts into Dixie and into the Ohio Valley, then, and even still into the Southern Plains. So, kind of, analogs are picking up a lot of stuff. It looks like it's really going to start to ramp up around Tuesday. So let's look at 500 millibar winds and see what we have going on for that. Now that kind of, I like that. So I like to look at 500 millibar winds to look at events for organized severe weather. It's kind of just a good tool. But you can see Wednesday. We have a kind of a negative tilt coming into with an upper level low in Nebraska, and nice looking area for some severe weather in this area for sure. That looks pretty good for Wednesday. I think Wednesday is going to be a very interesting day. We can take some soundings in this area. Let's take one in southwestern Iowa right here and see what we got. So this is not an impressive sounding. A few problems we have with this is one of the main ones. I don't even really need to look at this. There's two ones I just noted. You can notice within like the first 2 seconds to look at the sounding. First of all, moisture is terrible, and shear is also terrible. So this is not gonna really support severe weather at all. And take one closer. We can take one maybe in southeastern Nebraska. Still, moisture is terrible, and shear is not good at all. So these are just overall not very good sounding. So we go to dew points real quick and see what we have. So we got to Tuesday, and we're going to go on to Wednesday. So Tuesday here, we have our surface low setting up around the Kansas-Nebraska line. We have our warm front seems to be stretching out like that, and a dry line right here, maybe a cold front kind of back here. We have warm moist air, dews in the 60s. Now this looks pretty good for maybe areas in Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa. That's what I'd say we want to pay attention to for Tuesday. Maybe even southern Minnesota on the warm front. And along that warm front, we could even see some more severe weather in southern Minnesota, maybe even Wisconsin. And then Wednesday, we can see we don't have a whole lot of moisture because what is happening, or not really what is happening, we're not going to go too far into it, but our surface low is right here. It's starting to weaken. Now it's starting to broaden out. We still have a strong cold front with this, but it's starting to spin around itself. It's not really going to move much. We can see most of the moisture is limited further to the east, actually, in areas of Illinois, Iowa. We take a sounding in southeastern Iowa, yeah. This is much better. Shear, though, is just not there. But this would support some isolated severe weather, though. We have nice moisture, decent amount of instability, and but that HODA looks terrible. That would support maybe that's going to be mainly a messy storm mode. That doesn't look too good. Take one in eastern Missouri. And kind of the same story. We do have a little bit better shear, but still, I don't like the looks of this. And this once again would support just an isolated chance of some severe weather. Only a marginal or a slight risk for maybe damaging winds or hail. So that's overall not good for tornadoes. Take one in Texas. Now this is what this is where we need to watch. This is decent actually for tornadoes. We go to, let me get my pen here. Dew point of 67. We have plenty of moisture, plenty of instability. This is slightly capped though. Capping is going to be a little bit of a concern with this, and we do have shear though. Shear it looks decent, much better than the other soundings, but still not extremely impressive. But that looks good, I'd say. And critical angle is 91, which is really right where we want to see it. So I'd say that our best chance of severe weather may not be right next to our low or close to our low. It might be just further south along the cold front. We can see the GFS even indicates maybe a second low forming in Oklahoma. So that would kind of be good. Or that would be good. Now we're going to have to see if that becomes a trend because it's kind of uncertain if that actually is going to happen. We go back to it doesn't really show it doesn't show that second low doing too much though, but we might have a multi-day severe weather event maybe in Texas. I think we're going to have some severe weather in the north also, or not really north, but the Midwest. Areas of Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, maybe Illinois, even Minnesota. We could have some severe weather up there. It doesn't look too good for tornadoes, though. But I think we're going to have maybe some severe weather kind of in this area right by the low. I think that's definitely a possibility. And we could have it all the way down this cold front, even into the south. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Thursday, we can see take some soundings in Mississippi. Still, this is not extremely impressive. This would mainly favor a linear storm mode, but this would definitely bring maybe a chance of some isolated tornadoes. It'd be rather weak though. Still, that's not an impressive sounding, but that would have a severe weather risk with it. Once again, further to the north, we don't have that shear though. We do have instability. This would support severe weather for sure. It's just we don't have really good wind shear with much of these soundings on Thursday. This is a little bit better. We actually have some turning, and that's still not very impressive, but we have plenty of instability. It is slightly capped, but we have, like I said, we have a lot of instability. This would likely support, that would support a decent amount of severe weather also. So looks like Thursday is going to be a decent day also. And then Friday, the area we want to watch would be maybe up kind of along or areas of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, maybe Maryland also. Take a sounding in Virginia, and not very impressive at all. Maybe that would support some thunderstorms. Not really much severe weather. We can go into North Carolina. Hopefully, have a little bit more instability. We have a little bit more. Still not impressive. This looks a little bit better though. We actually do have some turning with the winds. But still, that's not going to support really a tornado outbreak. I'm not thinking next week we're going to see a tornado outbreak. I'm thinking we're going to see some kind of multi-day severe weather event. We probably will see a few tornadoes. I'm not expecting it to be a tornado outbreak, though. Next week does look like we're going to see kind of a shift or a pattern change. And this is Tuesday evening here on this is on precipitation type, which is really not really simulated reflectivity. but we're gonna call it that. This is kind of the GFS or the GFS's simulated reflectivity, because the GFS is not a high resolution model. The GFS is a mid range model, but we can see we have our low once again in western Nebraska. A lot of heavy rain to the north of it, cold front like this, and a warm front like this. Maybe some thunderstorms along that warm front, like I said. And then we go into Wednesday. Wednesday looks to be the best day. We can see the GFS indicates some storms erupting in Arkansas, Missouri, and maybe even some thunderstorms. Maybe some severe weather in Illinois, Iowa. And also a secondary area we could watch might be behind this low. I've seen that a few times. This looks like one or with one kind of event. We could see maybe some kind of interesting some interesting storms maybe behind this low. If you're looking for these aren't going to be these aren't going to be similar to the storms we're going to see in front of this. So these are going to be low moisture storms. You can take some soundings with those. The GFS indicates some precipitation right there. This is really not that good of a sounding, actually. But if we can get a little bit of instability right there, this would kind of be a secondary, maybe interesting area for some storm development. I've seen that several times, even a few times this year. We go to Thursday. The GFS indicates maybe a lot of thunderstorms in the south, and then Friday across the southeast and along the coastal areas. But yeah, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow, but thanks for watching.